Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Susie and I share all about blogging, all the tips and tricks that have helped me be a six-figure blogger. I've been blogging for over 7 years. And today's video is all about just when I spent money throughout my 7-year period of blogging and kind of where I'm at now and what I spend money on like every month. I thought it would just be helpful for you to know kind of like from the first year to like kind of the middle to now, like what I've had to add on as far as expenses for blogging and how really when you first start out, you don't need to spend that much money. So let's dive in. Okay, obviously when I first started out, I didn't spend a ton of money. I don't recommend you spend that much money. I really had to think about like every single thing when I spent it because I didn't have extra money to spend on it. So I think in the beginning, you really just need to focus on like what's most important and what's going to grow your blog and make you more money and spend money on that versus just spending money on everything. Because obviously you can always spend more money if you want to, but the key is you don't need to. And one of the things I love so much about blogging is that you don't need it doesn't have any overhead to start. Whereas if you opened up a brick and mortar business or so many other businesses, you have so much that you have to put into the business before you even see a profit. Whereas with blogging, I mean, you can literally start a blog for under $100 easily. And that's it, which is crazy to think about starting a business and only spending that much money. So that is another reason why I love blogging so much. Okay, so in the very beginning, I'm talking like the first year, literally all I bought was my domain, which is, like what you're calling yourself or what your blog name is, which you can buy it for like, usually it's like 99 cents a lot of times or $1. It's like nothing. Obviously, sometimes they're more, but really, really inexpensive. And then you need to pick a theme for your blog, whether that's, like a WordPress theme or you can buy ones off Etsy now. There's so many options for themes. You can get free themes, so you don't have to spend anything. I think initially when I started, mine was like $30. It was like nothing to write home about. It was very, very basic. My husband helped me because he's more techie. And so we just went with something that was really like streamlined and seemed really easy to use, which is key. I don't recommend getting something that's hard to use or navigate. And that just looked, semi-decent for the times. And then obviously you have your hosting, which is really inexpensive, especially if you go with something like Bluehosting, which I think the first year you get like so many different things for free. And yeah, they just kind of have everything that you need. So it's super inexpensive, basically, is what I'm saying, to start a blog. You don't need that much. So basically that's all I spent money on in the beginning. I just wanted a blog where I could write and be consistent. That is one thing I will hold my hat to, is I was very consistent. And I think that's what has helped me stay on course, was I was just consistent. I was going to blog no matter what, and I was going to write each week. So that's all I did for like the first year. And then as year 2 came around, I remember thinking about email, which I then started an email list, but I still had that for free. I was not paying for my email list. I know ConvertKit even now, at the time I was using MailChimp, and I think you got up to 500 subscribers for free, but then I switched. But I know ConvertKit does up to 1,000 now, a free email list subscribers. So you could easily get that and not pay anything for, your first year, or for your first 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I did end up though, I remember like in year 2, I started to get Canva, which is just your basic photo and design templates. You can use it for social media. You can use them for your blog. They have everything that you need. They have stock photos you can get. They even have, graphic things you can make. It's just like really simple and basic and dumbed down for like kind of a beginner, because it's not like Photoshop. Photoshop would be like the next tier where you're really going to need to know how to use that. Canva, anyone can use. It's super user-friendly and easy. And that it's pretty inexpensive. It's like $9.99 a month. When you're starting out though, like every penny counts. So still, I thought about it before I did it, but it really does make life so much easier. I remember trying to use Photoshop. I went to college and I remember learning Photoshop, but I didn't use it for so long. And so I just forgot a lot of the things, and my husband knows it, but I wanted something that I could just do and I didn't have to ask him to do something for me. So I did invest in Canva, and I think it was worthwhile because it definitely helped me when making like graphics, whether it was for Pinterest or, graphics for my blog or whatever. Another thing that I did invest in, which looking back, I wish I wouldn't have, was podcasting. So I started a podcast like year 2. Don't ask me why. I would not recommend this, but I had to pay for SoundCloud and so many different just podcasting things that you have to get, implemented and in place before you start podcasting. And so I wouldn't recommend that, but that was definitely an expense for me as well. I know that I started investing in Zoom too, because I would have like my Zoom calls with I hosted a podcast with the doctor. And so I would have to like pay for the Zoom calls, which is a monthly fee. Again, so I wouldn't recommend that just starting out, but that is something that I did. And then I did start investing in Gmail, because if you want your email addresses to be like a business, like it's like your name plus at a business, you have to start, paying for certain ones and things like that. And so that really can be an expense as well. And I just needed more storage. And so paying for email and for different people, different email addresses. So I had that as an expense as well. And then this was kind of like year 2 and 3. So I did all of that again in year 3, but then I also really started investing in courses in year 3. Like I got serious and I was like, okay, I need to figure out this blogging thing. And so I started investing in just different courses that really helped me take my blog to the next level, whether it was through SEO or email, just knowing how to like build your email list, which is really important as a blogger. I invested in other courses too, like whether it was for Pinterest or Instagram. Looking back, some of them I invested in I wasn't a fan of, but sometimes you just don't know until you invest. And I think if someone's done it before me and has had success, I definitely want to learn if I can, because then it will make my success quicker instead of having to like try to find and scour on the internet and figure it out on my own. I would rather just pay someone and, learn from them and from their mistakes. Okay, in the 4th year, I started to obviously had like more email subscribers. I changed over my email platform because I wanted more bells and whistles. So I started paying more for that. I was still paying for Canva, obviously still paying for all my web hosting, all of that. I was paying just kind of a guy that I could have on hand. Like he was just a lump sum every month. I would pay him like a certain amount just to help me with any sort of tech issues I had with my blog, or if I didn't know how to do something or something went wrong, like I would just have him on like speed dial basically. So that way I could have him fix something if I needed it. I was still basically doing the podcasting thing, so I had to pay for that. And then I started doing courses. I had my first course and I had to use Teachable, which is a course platform that hosts your course for you. So you have to pay a certain amount each month for them to host your course. And then I was starting to kind of get into like different opt-in hosting services, whether it was like Opt-in Monster or ClickFunnels or different ones that you can use to, or lead pages where they can help you gain followers and email list subscribers through these opt-in tools. And so I probably spent, more money than I should have on that because I was like dabbling in it. They have a lot of free ones now you can use, or really inexpensive plugins for your website if you're on WordPress. But that was definitely part of my expenses was, kind of using those and figuring them out. Then I started to pay for a post office each month because I didn't want my address on my emails. So whenever you sign up for an email list or an email provider, you have to include your address, and I didn't want my home address. So I wanted just to have like an anonymous one, obviously. So I used a post office box number. So I had to pay for that each month. I also started to really get into SEO, and I paid for more SEO tools, especially like ones that would help me each month figure out keywords and keyword research. I definitely invested in those, and those are still something that I invest in every month because it really helps to grow my blog in the long run. Okay, then in the last 2 years, I would say my blog has definitely grown a ton, and I've really up-leveled as far as I have to have a bookkeeper now. I mean, before I should have had a bookkeeper too. It would have made my life a lot easier, but I don't want to do that. And so I hired a bookkeeper the last 2 years, which has helped so much, taken a ton off my plate, and she just helps keep everything straight and like knows when to leverage things and when not to. And then I hired a VA, a virtual assistant, who she does so much for my blog and really has just taken like our blog to the next, or taken the blog to the next level. So she's been here for over 2 years now. And then I also have like just more, I would say, like I've taken more courses and I just have more monthly expenses as far as like if I want to buy products or if I want to test something out, like those are all, you know, business expenses that you can put down as long as you're using them for business and you're blogging about them. So things that, you know, I need to help like learn about something or grow with it, I will also have those as an expense as well. I also hired someone to basically help me with my beauty counter business, which is another side business within my blog and an affiliate basically. But it's a pretty big one. And so someone totally just like, she helps me with that. So yeah, that's kind of like a rundown of where I've spent money the last 7 years. Obviously in the beginning, like I said, I didn't spend that much money. And then as I've grown it, I've gradually added things on depending on what I needed. I remember last year, I kind of just went through all of my expenses and really tried to cut where I could because I felt like it's easy once you start making more money to just kind of like let things go and not know what you're spending money on as much. But I feel like, you know, I still want to be really good when it comes to making sure, you know, I don't still need a lot of these, honestly, like to be totally honest, but they're just super helpful. And I find for me, if it saves me time and really helps make things more efficient for me in my blog, like in the long run, I definitely want to have them. And so that's really helped me to kind of cut things where I don't need them and then keep things that I find really help me in the long run. So that's just kind of a recap. I hope that was helpful to learn like where you would need to spend money as you grow your blog. Again, just always think about, do I really need this? Is this really going to help me? If it is, great. But like, don't just have like a knee-jerk reaction as far as spending money. I think a lot of times people are like, I need all the things. And like, you really don't. In the beginning, you can get by with so little. And like I said, blogging is like one of the lowest cost startup businesses that I know of. Like you could literally have your business up and running for less than $100. So, which is amazing. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. If you want to take your blog to the next level when it comes to your blog posts, be sure to grab my free blogging checklist. I teach you how to optimize each blog post and what I do to really up-level them. And I will leave the link in the description box. Until next time, hope you guys have a great day.